Okay, all right, sorry about that. I had to turn on my tablet so it records too. Okay, so I'm getting my paintbrush pretty wet, or, you know, a lot of paint on there. Just white, and I'm going to do about 1/3 of this canvas with just white paint. You want to get a nice, pretty generous layer. And if you could go ahead and mute yourselves so that there's no background noise, that would be good. And then just unmute yourself if you need to ask me anything. Awesome. All right, and then I'm going to, so I have about 1/3 of this with white. Before it dries, I'm going to take my paintbrush. I'm just going to dip just the corner of it in my black, just a tiny little bit. And I'm going to start either at the bottom or at the top, doesn't matter. And I'm going to pull in some streaks in there, and I'm going to keep going over it until it blends in so that they're soft streaks. We want this to be mostly white with little blends of gray in there. At least that's how I want mine. You could do yours the way you want, but I don't want to get too much black in there because I don't really want it to be a gray background. And I don't want to over blend it so that it's gray. I want to show some little bit of texture there. Of course, you don't have to do this. This is just the way I did mine. If you have another idea how you want to do your background, you can go right ahead. This is your painting. You can paint it however way you want it. It does not have to look like mine. So now I'm adding more white. Now I'm keeping the strokes really long. I'm not lifting my brush until I get to the edge of the canvas. If you see that there's some like blobs of paint ending up on the edge, just wipe them up and blend them back in. I'm going to take a tiny bit more black, just a little bit, because it goes a long ways. I'm going to add a little bit more, and then I'm going to go back and forth over that to blend it in softly. And Tessa, yours is, you're doing on palette, so you might actually want to be going in a different direction, or maybe just keep the background the way it is, huh? It looked like it was a painted palette board. So
no, it's just it's naked wood.
Okay. Up to you if you want to carry that paint over the edges, because it's pretty much white already. It's not going to really make that big of a deal. And I'm just going to let that dry. If you want to go grab a hair dryer, you can do that now after you got your background in, so you don't have to wait, because we have to have this dry before we put our tracing on, which I'll show you. So easy. All we're going to do is rub pencil on the back of the printout.
So they're minding them very well. Good.
Yeah.
It's only good that that's going on, because he will protect them. You know?
Yes. Well, that was the whole point of getting a goose for your chickens, right?
Yeah, I didn't want him to just follow me around all the time. I don't need his protection. I'm, let's see here. Are we just waiting for it to dry right now? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, yeah. And we're, those of us that are using the tracer, we're applying pencil on the back of it. Because then what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over on top of our canvas, and then we're going to trace over those lines. That's going to push that graphite onto your surface.
Painting.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what you're doing.
Yeah. So sometimes you'll want to hold up your paper up against the light and see if you caught all those lines with graphite on the back of it. And then if you're doing the 11 by 14 size, there is the separate, the wording's on separate paper because it couldn't all fit. Actually, no, it wouldn't have fit. Yeah. So you want to do the same thing with your lettering.
Okay.
And Siobhan, you'll just, since you don't have a printout, you could just, how comfortable are you freehanding? You could just freehand it on there. Anything you wanted to say.
Totally thinking about cutting that out of my vinyl printer later.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, you can always do that later. Do you have a Cricut?
I just painted over it.
All right, so once I got the back all covered with graphite with the pencil, I'm gonna position it on my canvas. I'm gonna line it up so that it's lined up with the bottom and the right edge here. And I'm gonna tape it on and then take my pencil or pen and just trace over those lines using firm pressure. And every once in a while, especially before you get too far, lift it up and see if those lines are transferring. Or if you need to push a little bit harder. And sometimes what helps too is by putting like a book underneath it to provide some resistance. If you feel like the pencil is not transferring dark enough.
I love all these tricks you learn. You teach us.
Yeah, I try to make it so it's easy for you. Still learning.
Well, you know, I took all the stuff that I've done since I told you, not a lot, but a few things. And I had it in my bookcase, and a while ago, it's right around Christmas time, maybe a little bit after that, I put it all away in my office. And well, I put it actually in my sewing room. The juice was in the office, but and then a couple days ago, I went there and looked at it. I was happy to see it.
Yeah, you attended a lot of my home parties.
Yeah.
You were at almost
You
you and Lori and Becky
and Pat.
and Pat. Yes,
It's all her fault.
it's all her fault. Is it?
She bugged me for the longest time. Come on, you'll like it. You'll have fun. Come on, I'll pay. She knew I was broke. She's so fun.
She's so
I
sweet.
love her to death. Her and Rich bought my trailer, my little trailer. It's in the back of my property. And now, so when I go out in my backyard, instead of seeing it on my property, I just look over the fence and see it.
Oh, cool.
I don't miss it.
Yeah. It didn't go far.
Well, it's in their driveway, so
I can't see anything at all.
Siobhan, was that you? You can't see my, you can't see what I'm doing here?
Yeah, all I see is that video's connecting.
Oh, okay.
It keeps going out and saying video's connecting.
Oh, there you are. I see you now. Do you see me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Must be your internet. Oh, popped off again. It says your camera is off, so it must be the connection.
Yeah,
Yeah.
must be.
I was a little worried that this room wasn't going to work last night because when I would go into the group,
Yeah.
I have to put it on interacting as myself because you can't create a room as your business page, which is how I set up the group. So I have to add myself and then make myself admin. So I did that, and then it was working, but then last night the page wasn't loading. The group wasn't, but it would on my computer. It was weird. It's just my phone that it wasn't loading where I could create a group, and I was starting to get a little worried. I could hit.
I notice a lot of times. So I do Weight Watcher meetings with a group, and if we are all unmuted except for the host, then it cuts out.
Oh.
So if everybody is muted and nobody can talk but one person, then it doesn't have as many connection issues.
Oh, weird. And that's through Facebook Rooms, or is that Zoom, or?
Zoom, Facebook, any of them.
Oh, wow. Huh. Who's still tracing?
Me.
Me. Diane. Becky, looks like you're done. That's okay. Everybody else has got their tracer on?
What is Tessa doing?
She's already got hers on there.
I know. She looks like she's busy at work. What's she doing over there?
Oh, no.
I got my truck ready.
Oh, she's already ahead of the game. She's a fast painter.
I have to pause and wait for you, though, because I don't know what to do about
Right.
the flowers.
Right, I don't have instructions for you this time. I usually do.
Does the truck have to be red, or can
No, you can paint it whatever you want. This is your painting. You don't have to do anything I tell you. You can paint it however way you want. So I'm going to get started with the main base coat with my red or whatever color you're using. I'm using my kind of like a medium flat brush here because I like how I can get the edges more crisp when I use my flat brush. But don't use too big of a flat brush. Like, I think this is a 1/2 inch. So this or smaller I would use. And I'm going to fill in everything. Oh, make sure that you have 3 circles for your tire. Make sure you have 3 circles. Because that could be an easy one to miss when you're doing the tracing. And you're going to paint everything except for the tire, which is the black is the outside ring here. That's the actual tire. And then the window. So paint everything but the tires and the window.
Well, some of my streaks got in my window, so I'm going to have to do something with them.
No, we're going to cover those up later. Yeah, so don't worry about that.
Okay.
And I'm even going to...
Which brush did you say you're using?
I'm using a flat brush, but you can use whatever brush you're comfortable with. I just like using the flat brush because I can get crisper edges. You know, I can do it this way, or I can even turn my brush and go this way. But a round brush will work too. And what I mean by that is a flat brush, the metal part where it's holding onto the bristles is crimped and it makes it flat. And then a round brush the metal part, the ferrule, it's round.
No, I have this one. It's the same one I did my background with.
Okay, switch to a smaller one.
A smaller one?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm even doing, this is a bumper right here, if you're wondering what that is. Almost looks like an exhaust pipe, but it's supposed to be the bumper. They kind of look funny like that in the old vintage trucks. It just looks like this thing sticking out. We're going to go over that with gray too, so. But I'm just going to go ahead and fill it in. Now, when I'm painting this part that is going over the wheel well, I guess you would call this the wheel well, right? I'm starting on one side or the other, and I'm keeping the stroke long, and I'm going up and over without lifting my brush, so that I have nice smooth strokes. Instead of going like painting like this, for this part, I recommend just keeping your brush on there until you get to the other side. The rest of the truck, you can do that. You could paint it however way you want. But I like it when the wheel well is nice and smooth. Did that make sense?
Yeah.
The rest of it doesn't matter because it's like an old rusty truck, so it can have a lot of variation in the brush strokes. And you should be able to see, if you got your pencil lines on there dark enough, you should be able to see through your paint. Can you see through your paint if you're already painting?
Yeah.
Are you able to see it? Okay. If not, then you can stop and take your pencil and just make it darker if you want to. Is anybody painting a different color other than red? I think, Siobhan, you are. I'll just try to keep that in mind.
I was going to, but I decided to just do a little bit of a darker red instead of
okay.
lighter red. It's
okay.
Just like a burnt orange color.
Oh, there you go.
Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. I'll show you.
Okay. Oh, nice.
See, it's just like a little.
Okay, I see. Yeah, that's gonna look nice. So when we get to the next layer, we go and make it darker. So you can decide to either make the next layer darker or lighter. Just something that contrasts with the color that you're using right now. And how we're going to do that is we're just going to add a little bit of black to our base color. Just FYI, that's what will be coming up next.
So in my old hometown, where I lived for about 23 years or so, we had the West Side Arts Association.
Huh.
And everybody in the community could come in, and you pay like $8 a month dues. Everybody's supplies. And it was really unique. Some of us, that's the only place we saw each other, was there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
It was just like a...
It's all good.
Like a little artsy get together and do crafts and stuff.
The community had some big thing going on. We got to be responsible for, like if they had a play going on, we could do the background scenery and stuff like that. Oh, cool. It was really kind of neat.
The set design.
What's that?
Designing the sets.
Yeah. Because again, it was a really small town. Everybody pretty much knew who everybody else was.
Yeah.
Didn't know each other personally. And we had a little theater troupe there, which was kind of nice.
So don't forget your edges. You want to go all the way over to the other side. Well, I do. I mean, if you don't want to, you don't have to.
Right.
But I think it looks nice when it's going over the edge. It kind of gives it that gallery wrapped look, where the design, like the canvas was painted on first and then stretched over the stretchers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we just added some, took white and added a little bit of black and made a medium color gray, and then filled in the window and the very, very center part of the tire with gray. And then you're going to take some white with a small round brush, swipe in some white on the window, and you can put a few little highlights inside the tire, the very inside part if you want to. And then paint the outer rim white if you want to. That's like the some trucks have the white wall of the tire. And then if you're sitting there waiting, you can, if you feel like it, you can go back in with another coat if you want to of your red or whatever color you're using for your base coat. That's optional though, you don't have to, but if you're just sitting there waiting for the next set of instructions, you can do that. And then when you're ready for the next set, we're going to take, you can use a small brush or a medium round brush, and you're going to fill in with black on just the tire, the outside part of the tire. And you could do the door handle too, before we forget. So whatever paintbrush you're comfortable with painting in your tire. If you have any paintbrushes you're not using, make sure that they're either in the water or they're rinsed out so that your acrylic paint doesn't dry on them. So how I'm doing the tire here is I got this medium-sized round brush. Can you guys see okay? And I'm focusing on this outer edge.
The only thing I can see is the top part of your truck. I
really?
Can't even see the bottom of your
wow,
truck.
really? Because I can see the whole thing in my view. I'll push it up. Did that go more in frame?
Yeah, and like a little bit over to the left.
Like that?
And then I'd be able to see the whole thing.
Okay, how's that?
That's good.
Okay. That's what I see the whole thing in my view. So yeah, you gotta tell me these things. Apparently it shows up differently for you guys.
You're
okay.
You're probably on a different side of the screen than
Huh. Weird. That's
on
good.
your screen than you are on mine.
Maybe. Huh. That's good to know. Yeah, let me know, guys, if you can't see it or something. So I'm focusing on the top edge here, and I'm pushing down and letting those bristles spread out just a little bit. You'll see when it starts like running out of paint, and you just go ahead and get more paint when it starts skipping out on you. I'm pushing down, I'm going slowly. And I'm resting this part of my hand on my canvas so I have more control. And just take your time with this. And And if you feel like moving your canvas around, do that too. Don't be afraid to move your canvas to be more comfortable. I'm not going to do that because then that'll mess you guys up, but you can't see. But I'm first focusing on the outside line, and then I'll go back and I'll fill in the other side of that. If you're ever painting and you have like this rogue hair that just sticks out, twist, yes. Just twist your brush so that it kind of, just like turn your brush and see if that helps. If that doesn't help, go back into your paint. When you're in your paint, twist your brush into it and pull out like that. So twist and pull out at the same time and see if that gets that rogue hair to behave. And if all else fails and that rogue hair just keeps sticking out, just snip it off. But if you're painting and you see like a hair that's about to sabotage your line, twist your brush so that it's on the other side. So it doesn't make a little extra little duplicate line. I'm going to do my door handle. And then this is optional. If you want to fill in the baseboard or the footboard with black, you can do that too. I like using a flat brush for that, a smaller flat brush. All right, I'm going to start just painting in my flowers.
I want to watch that because, go ahead.
I'm just making blobs. I'm making the edges blobby. So they're blobby circles.
Okay.
Okay.
I can do that.
What kind of brush are you using?
So I'm using a round brush. But you can use a flat brush too. You know, like you can use one of these too. Actually, this works well too.
All kinds of brushes.
Yeah.
I was just curious.
Yeah, you can, either one will work. So you can use a smaller flat brush, and that actually works quite well too, because you can get bigger bumpy edges if you want. It doesn't matter. It's whatever you're comfortable with. And purposely make those edges bumpy. I think I'm going to stick with the flat brush.
Another one of mine. That's blue. This is red.
Tessa, let me know when you get your rockets done. I'll show you how to do the wood panel if you want me to. Or you could probably just figure it out. It's actually just 2 lines. 4 lines.
She's the one doing the rockets. Scarlett is.
Oh, okay.
She's done.
She's done? Is she out of there already?
No, she's on the side here.
Oh, okay.
She's very meticulous. Well, moving right along.
Now, if you did what I did and you wrote in like W for white, I would erase that just so that it doesn't pop through your paint there. And then go in with your white for your white flowers. How you doing, Diane? Where are you at?
I'm hanging in there, girl.
What are you doing right now?
I'm doing what you're doing. I'm doing the flowers.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure. Like, how far back is she? I don't want to go too slow for you guys. Anybody got their flowers done already? Who's ever doing flowers? Are you done?
Almost.
Okay. Is Scarlett done with her rockets, or is she still working on her rockets?
I have my white flowers to do, and then.
Okay, awesome. Nice. All right. Cute.
Oh, she painted her truck a blue truck.
Yeah, that's cool. That totally works.
Are you gonna write Ford on it too, Scarlett? No, she's gonna write garbage. Of course she is. Ugh, my white keeps drying.
Let me know whoever's ready for the wood paneling. What do you call those? I don't know what you call those. All right.
I call it wood paneling.
I guess, okay. I didn't know if there was like another term for that.
I call it
Boards.
Boards. Okay, so.
Boards.
All right, so you got your rockets. Okay, this is awful, but it's just getting you an idea. All right. Okay, so this is my back of my truck. There's my rockets. Okay, so get your brown paint, and I gotta get brown paint. Hold on.
Is that the burnt ember?
Put your brown paint next to your white paint, or it doesn't matter actually where you put it. And you're gonna want to use a flat brush, like this, a really small flat brush. Like this, or what size are you working on, Scarlett? Are you doing a palette too? I forget.
Yeah.
I asked you that already, didn't I? Here's my, okay. Well, okay, so something like this or smaller, okay? And if you want to take a pencil, you can pencil it in if you want and just make a line perpendicular to the top of the bed there. Or are you able to see through your, because I think you traced yours on there, didn't you, Tessa? Is she able to?
No, but she faded over.
Okay, all right. Okay, so you can take a ruler if you want to and make, a parallel line, and then just make another parallel line right across the top. It doesn't have to be too particular on the spacing. You can have it go all the way to the back of the truck bed if you want to, or you can leave a little space. Some do go all the way to the back, and some have a little space, so that's totally up to you. And then there's going to be a parallel, a horizontal line here, just kind of estimate it somewhere in there, anywhere. Okay. And you're going to dip into your white. Now, you don't have to do this part. This is just a little trick that I like to do.
We're waiting for this part, right?
Yes, you're waiting for this part. Don't do this part. I'm just showing this for the ones who are ready for this already, because they did their rockets and they're ready for this.
Sure.
Yeah, you're good. You're all good. So, so I'm dipping in my brown. Can you see, Scarlett? And then I'm gonna dip the corner in my white. Can you see that? Okay, you don't have to do that. You can just do straight brown if you want. And then I'm gonna put my flat brush down where the white is on the top. And I'm going to just make my line. Just go over my line about the same thickness as my flat brush.
How many white flowers you got?
I have 3 on mine. But on the one I'm working on right now, but I actually have 1, 2, 3. I have 4 on my sample.
I can't see your flowers because you got your truck pushed up. Oh, there you go. 2, 3. I only see 2 of them.
Yeah, I have like 2 behind here. You can't really see them very well. But on the one I'm working on, I have 3 because I did it a little bit differently.
I see. Okay.
So yours is gonna look different. It's okay.
Oh yeah, no, I know. I just looking for a place to put another one.
Yeah. Oh, somebody's here. I can't get the door right now. And then I'm just gonna do the same thing. Leave a little bit of a space between the 2 parallel lines. You might have to get some more paint and get some more white on there.
I have to make brown paint. So.
Yeah, you're gonna want to mix your red. Start off by mixing a little bit of blue into your red. Okay. Lauren! Somebody's here. Somebody's at the door. I'll be right back, guys. Hi. Hey. I'm doing a virtual paint party right now. Oh. Lauren! Peggy's here. To harass you. To harass you. This is so pretty. Okay, I'm back. Okay. All right, so let me try this again. Okay, so I got my white up at the top. You can also take your paintbrush and go back and forth with it like that. That's the Donna Dewberry technique of double loading. You don't have to do this though. And I'm gonna go back over and just kind of get some get some texture in your wood. I got too much white on there. I feel like I have too much white on there, so I'm just going to dip back into my brown. Oh, okay. Yeah, am I down too low? Okay. Can you see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, that's weird. I can like see the entire thing on mine, but it cuts it off for you guys, huh? Okay, yeah, let me know.
Well, you're like, so on my screen, you're in my upper, like, right corner.
Huh.
Or my left corner.
Huh.
Where
Weird.
I'm, like, on the upper right. So I can see all of my screen, but I can't see all.
Oh. Is there some settings you can play around with where it will make just, where you just see mine? I'm wondering if you can just see just like your whole.
On the computer, I think so, but on my phone, I can't do that.
Oh. Can you see it now? So you can make your wood slats however thick you want. The bigger the brush, the bigger they're going to be, obviously. And then I'm going to do the same thing for the two supporting pieces of boards there. So I'm going to dip into my gray, my brown, and then I'm going to just pull the corner into some white. And then you can do this. You can like swipe back and forth if you want. But not too much because you don't want to totally blend them two together. I'm going to get a little bit more. And then I'm going to start at the top and pull down. Or you can start at the top of the truck bed and pull up. Or do both, actually. Did that make sense? I feel like I didn't demonstrate that very well. Alrighty. Alright. So the ones that are back to the flowers. Can everybody see this, how it is right now? Can you see the, let's see, except for the right side there.
Yep, I can see.
Alright, I have dark purple here. It's almost brown.
Okay, so if you have a dark purple, then that means you have a lot of blue in there. You need, oh gosh, you need like yellow. You don't have any yellow. I didn't give you any yellow.
No yellow.
Oh no. Oh, I gave you green. Put some green in it.
Okay.
Yeah. But don't taint your whole green. Just pull out some green onto the side wherever you're mixing.
Well, my problem is getting to be the paint is growing skin because it's so warm.
Oh, yeah, okay. If your paints are getting thick, dip your brush into your water and mix that in there.
Yeah.
I'm going to work on the black accent lines. So I'm going to take my smallest brush because I'm going to let these flowers dry. I'm going to take my smallest paintbrush, dip into my black. Now my black developed a skin on it too, so I can either dip it in my water and then mix that in there so it's a little more fluid. You might want to just do that anyways so that your black's a little more like liquidy, so you get more fluid. Yeah, not that much, not that bad. But just so it's a little bit more fluid. Not like watercolor, but. So I'm going to add some black accents. I'm going to go up and over the wheel well, but I'm not going to totally outline it. Can you see, Siobhan? Is it showing up? Can you see the wheel well here? Is it showing up in your screen? Can you see my paintbrush moving? Oh, okay, you're on mute.
Sorry, I was on mute.
That's okay. That's okay. I wasn't looking at you. I probably could have just seen you nodding your head yes.
I'm like, yay! I can do two things at once. Yeah.
Sorry. I wasn't looking at you. I could have totally just seen you. Are you able to see this here?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm in frame for you. Okay. So I'm going to add 3 this is how I'm going to do it. You can do however you want. I'm going to add 3 broken swipes here on the top and then on the other side is how I'm going to do that. So I'm going to start either side, doesn't matter. I'm resting my hand. I'm going to start at the bottom and I got plenty of paint. Like get a lot of paint on your paintbrush. Okay. Okay, I'm going to start at the bottom and I'm going to press. And as I'm going up and over, I'm lightening my pressure. And I'm kind of flicking it out so that I have a more of a fluid line. So you don't want to like go real slow because then you're going to get a wiggly line. So if you can, rest your hand and then flick it. Or I don't know if that's the right word for it.
Flick it?
I don't know. I swipe it. Go see if you can kind of go quickly.
So you're just kind of adding like lines in it to
Yeah, just
there, right?
just kind of going over those lines, those original lines that I had on there, but I'm not totally outlining it. I'm just adding swipes here and there. Do you see how I just put one here at the top and on the side. And then I just added some, like I definitely put some, I lined those 2 lines that are over here, the door.
What do you have? Oh, you went with Daddy to get the mail. Thank you.
I did the door and that crack line there. Is what I'm going to do next.
I didn't touch the remote.
And turn your canvas too. If you feel like you want to turn it so that it's more comfortable for you, then go ahead and do that. I probably would have made a better line up here if I would have turned my canvas. Try to avoid thick lines. Try to make them nice and thin. So for over here on that line that divides the cab and the truck bed, I'm not starting all the way at the top. You can if you want to. I'm kind of just keeping it down a little bit, and then I'm just going to swipe down. And I'm not going all the way to the, you can go all the way down if you want to. It's totally up to you. But I am resting my hand on the canvas. So I got my black accent lines up and over my wheel well. I've got the 2 lines that are over here, and then the rest is totally up to you where you want to put accent lines. I put some along the back. I just kind of dashed it on there. I put some on the back. I put some along the top edge. Not along the very top. I kind of went just under it. I put some back here on the back of the cab. I gotta turn this so you can see it. I put some around the window. I didn't totally outline the window though. I just dashed some along the bottom edge and a little on that curve there. So this part, and then I did go at the bottom of that bumper and I did fill in a line on the very bottom here to kind of be like a shadow. So I'm going to add some to I'm just going to quickly dash some along the back. I'm going to put a couple lines up at the top. This kind of just gives it that painterly look, that roughed up look, I think. I'm not purposely going right along the edge of my red. I'm just going just on the inside. And then I'm going to go under that bumper. I looked at a lot of pictures of old vintage trucks just to see what the bumper would look like, because it looks, in the old vintage trucks, it looks kind of funny. It's a skinny little bumper and it sticks out kind of funny when you're looking at the truck in this side view. So I was like, how am I going to do the, like, does it even need a bumper? Well, they usually do have bumpers on them, but they look kind of funny. Want your it's gonna be a little bit wider just because when you press down, the bristles are gonna splay out a little bit, and your line will actually be a little bit thicker than the width of your brush. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so you got your brown.
This is about the size you have.
Got your brown paint, or mix some brown.
Yes.
Okay. All right. All right. So get your brown on there, and then you're gonna take the corner of your brush and get some white on it.
Corner?
Yeah, not too much white. And then go blend it back and forth a couple times.
Oh geez, on what?
On it. Your tablecloth? I don't know. You can do it on the.
If you saw my palette, you'd understand. Okay, now I have no paint. Let's try this again.
You don't have to do this with the white. You could just do straight brown. But I like doing this because it kind of makes a little bit of a highlight to it.
Right. Okay.
So you dipped into your brown.
And after I put the brown on it, just like I did with the bumper, and it made it look really good. That's what I was thinking about doing. Okay, so now what do I do? Okay, all right. Okay, so if you want to, if you're not comfortable freehanding this, you could take a pencil and just... No, I'm just going to freehand.
Okay. And you can put, 2 lines in there, but you don't even have to follow those lines exactly. They're just more for a guide. And you can either leave a space here if you want, or you can start right at the back of that truck bed, the back of the cab. It's totally up to you. Some go all the way and some have a space, so it's totally up to you. All right, so position so that the white is up at the top, because it's going to make like a highlight, okay? And then just right above, leave a little bit of a space at the top of your, here, I'll show you again how I did it on here. This is what mine looks like. Okay.
Like that. Okay.
All right. Okay. So I left a little bit of a space.
So you just do 2 lines,
Yeah.
and then you do 2 lines,
Yep.
right?
Yep. And I just did a line.
Okay, this can't be that difficult. Come on.
Some people say they can't draw a straight line, so I can see how this could be a little difficult.
I need you to make me like a withered frame for this, because you're really good at that stuff.
So as I'm going, I am starting to run out of paint, but I'm going to keep going all the way across, and then I'm going to keep the white on the top, and I'm on my flip my paintbrush and go back over it the other direction.
What are we having for dinner? We don't know.
If you're,
do we need to take anything? Is it just one line down the sides?
Yep.
So it's like 2 lines across and then one down.
Yeah, 2 lines actually. You got 4 total lines. So you have 2 long for horizontal lines, and then you have 2 short of the vertical lines here.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. And then you can kind of go in and rough that up if you want to, you know. I need to add some more paint because my flower's showing right through there.
I had to add a little bit more paint too.
Yeah. Yeah, you might need to.
But my wood looks like a little withered the way that I did it. I didn't do it on the... I didn't give it like a highlight. It looks like a little withered.
There you go. However way you want to do it.
I really like this one, though. I actually did good on this one. Here, I'll show you.
Let me see. Nice. That's looking awesome. Yeah, it's looking cute.
I think I'm done. Because if I continue doing more, I'm going to screw something up.
Thank you so much for painting with me. So who else do you paint with? Do you do the Tahoe paint and sip one? They do
I haven't done that.
They do a live too. Where you can join their Zoom link, or you could just watch it on Facebook. They do free ones too.
Oh, these are different pants. Could you do me a favor and go clean that out in the sink?
So Siobhan, if you don't mind, when you get a chance, can you take a picture of your final painting and send it to me?
Yes.
Or you could just post it in the group. Thank
I
you.
will.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you for painting.
Thank you, Terry. This was fun.
Thank you. And thank you, Tessa,
and I will definitely do more.
Absolutely.
It looks nice.
That's so cool.
Thank you, Wade. I like it.
Yay, I'm glad you like it. You too. Have fun with your dinner.
Bye.
Came out okay.
It came out great.
Yay. Yes, it looks good.
Well, it doesn't look as good as it should, but it looks okay.
But you know what? People are not going to be looking at it that close.
That's true.
They're looking at it from across the room. Exactly. See?
All right. Here we go. Boom.
All right. Oh, cute. I like how you did your flowers. Nice. That looks so cute on the palette. Good job. You did a good job on your shading, too.
Oh, I love my truck.
You did a good job. It looks cute. I like it. I like this better than the Christmas tree truck. I designed it a little bit different. Looks good.
And I tried to make like the lettering kind of.
Yeah. You put some like highlights in there. That looks good. Very cute. Where did you get your palette?
Walmart.
Nice.
They didn't have any canvas.
Oh, right. Wow. Well, it's good that they had some other options.
Yeah.